Defense, size, and Joel Embiid, they all travel, and they did here to Atlanta and dominated for most of the night against the Hawks and win at 127-111 to take a 2-1 series lead. Welcome in, everybody. It is Playoff Central Live presented by State Farm. Brendan Haywood right over there. Steve Smith. I'm Matt Weiner. Good to have you with us. Philadelphia took this game over in the third quarter, outscoring the Hawks by 15 in the third, led by as many as 22, and basically cruised down the stretch. Final margin was 16, but guys, they were basically in control for the better part of the second half.
Yeah, in the third quarter, it looked like this Philly just really took over this game, and there was nothing Atlanta could really do. They didn't really have their three-point shot falling tonight. We've seen in the game one, Atlanta shot 47% from three, or somewhere in the high 40s, 42. And tonight they were only 6 of 23. So the three-point line was the story. If they're not hitting threes, they're not going to be able to beat this Philadelphia team. And also, Trey Young got his numbers, but they made him work tonight. Credit Ben Simmons' defense.
You're right, B. Wood. And I just think Embiid is just too much.
Yeah.
I mean, Clint Capella has had a fantastic year. For me, just watching him trying to battle. And then Joel Embiid is not 100%, but he's just moving guys around. It's breaking down their defense. But more importantly, I think for the long term for the Philadelphia 76ers, offensively, I saw some positive plays from Ben Simmons. They went to him, B. Wood. They got a chance to go to him. And just watching it right now, you can't make any mistakes position-wise against Joel Embiid. And then
Cash money.
what do you do with that, B. Wood? As a Clint Capella, as a big, nothing you could do. He's going through trouble teams, being able to knock down shots. He can pass it. And then Ben Simmons, if you make a mistake, he puts it on the money. They are just so much bigger than the Atlanta Hawks. Ben Simmons looked as big as Clint Capella. And then down here at Tobias Harris, who's 6'8". It's just hard for the Hawks right now to battle with them. They're doing everything they can. They're going to have to find a way to maybe slow the pace down a little bit more, B. Wood, and just live with trying to make other guys make jump shots that you want to take the jump shot.
It's not a great menu of options defensively for the Hawks. Clint Capella is a really good defender, but just doesn't have the bulk to stay with Joel Embiid. Very few NBA teams have centers these days who have that kind of bulk. And he's playing the right way. You know, he didn't take a ton of shots tonight, 7 of 14. Got to the free throw line. Again, third straight time in this series, he's taken at least 15 free throws in the game.
And that's by design, though.
Yeah, and he had 12.
I had a chance to talk to Doc Rivers, and he said, listen, the first thing he did was sit down and tell Joel Embiid, hey, big fella, I need you to dominate in the paint. But also, I need you to get to the free throw line at least 10 times a game, because that shows how dominant you are. It also allows us to set our defense. That is why they want him to get fouled. They preach that. That's a philosophy. It started as soon as Doc Rivers got there. On the season, Joel Embiid goes to the free throw line 11 times a game. In the last couple of games, it's been 15, 16 times a game. He is just too big, too strong down there. He's imposing his will, not taking a lot of those. He takes some fadeaways, but he knows how now he has a healthy balance of finesse and power.
And I have no problem with it, B. Wood. I think right now is he's seeking contact.
Yeah.
He is trying to physically impose his will. Verse, I thought he was trying to show everybody his skill. Like B. Wood said, he's getting to the free throw line. I'm punishing you. And I think as a big, I didn't have to bang like B. Wood with those guys like that. Even if he doesn't catch the basketball, there was a play he posted up on one block. He rolled Capella all the way to the other block. I just think he's taking their legs. And everybody as a wing guy, you're inching in. You're inching in. And they're giving a lot of offensive lanes for Tobias Harris, for Steph Curry. Other guys, he's making life easy for the Philadelphia 76ers.
It's body blows, right? I mean, even if he's not scoring, there's a price to be paid defensively for all that contact with
Then
the
I saw
bigs
the rookie
and all
come
the
in.
attention on him.
The rookie from the Hawks came in. I said, "Woo!" It's just I feel bad.
Okongwu.
He tried.
Yeah, Okongwu might be shorter than you, Smitty.
Really undersized.
He's about
a little
6'7".
small.
He's about 6'7".
You're a little small.
You put somebody 6'7" on Joel Embiid, it's going to be lights out.
Not going to go well. And you mentioned Simmons offensively, really on both ends of the floor, number 2 in Defensive Player of the Year voting this season. And I know Trey Young wound up with some numbers in this game, but he did not ever take over offensively for Atlanta, and Simmons was staying on him, basically from the time he crossed half court.
Yeah, and Trey finished with 28, but he got a couple of those buckets late. He probably got anywhere from 8 to 10 points when the game was already decided. But you just see how Ben Simmons is making Trey take tougher shots. I mean, Trey's able to hit that three right there, but whether it's Ben, whether it's Tobias, they're putting guys on him. Trey's able to get down the lane. But at the end of the day, I really liked how Philly played defense, even though these clips are not showing that. I don't know who cut the clips up because this is supposed to be a defensive clip, and they're just showing Trey barbecuing everybody out there. Y'all not going to make me look bad. I'm going to tell what's going on behind the scenes. We have lost control. It has gone off the rails early, but now you see. now you see.
I got you, B. Wood. I got you. I will say it.
Hey, what is going on up there?
We're showing a lot of plus minus going with the Philadelphia 76ers, but I will say, I look at it, B. Wood and Matt, in that New York Knicks series, Trey Young, points or not, controlled the pace.
Yes.
Then game one of this series, controlled the pace. Has not been able to control the pace in these last 2 games.
All right, let's get to the microphone at State Farm.
Hey, we got any of them defensive clips we supposed to have, man? Can we find them defensive clips?
We're going to come out and feature him on the post and be aggressive. But the pass first, I always think when you start him out passing on the post, then he gets aggressive in the game. And he was great for us. It's exactly what we need with his pace and power. It was great.
Thanks, Tom. Steve McMillan.
Doc, how much has Ben taking more of a role on Trey allowed you guys to go up in this series?
Oh, it's been big. Him and Matisse and George tonight were the three guys. It's exhausting when you think about what we're asking Ben to do. Follow Trey Young around, follow him around screens, and push the ball up the floor. That's all we talked about at halftime. And one of my coaches reminded me that he was guarding Trey when I was yelling at him about pace. He said he is guarding Trey too. So it's tough, but he's young, he has endurance, so it's been good for us.
Keith Pompey.
Now, what do you think about Joel's performance? It seemed like he battled through.
No, he was great. He's patient. They were going to send 2 and 3 guys at him all night. I thought overall he kept his patience. We got to do a little better job on our spacing, honestly, so he can see guys easier. But it'd be good that now we can see the tape and see exactly what they were doing. So, but overall, I just thought our movement, 10 turnovers for the game, I thought told the story.
It also looked like he battled through pain a lot, too, especially in that third quarter.
Yeah.
A couple of times he fell down, he hit the knee.
Yeah, he's playing hard, Keith. He's giving us everything. And, as you know, I never ask how a guy is feeling because they may tell you, So, yeah, what he's doing has been incredible. He is going through a lot, I'll tell you that, and it's been great to watch.
Last question, Danny Green, how long do you guys expect him to be out?
I have no idea. It's a calf injury. Just my doctor's degree, I would tell you that calf injuries aren't great. So.
All right. Next, we'll go to Kai Carlin.
Hey, Coach. Just real quick, I wanted to ask you about Tobias as a passer. It just really kind of seems like he's continued to kind of add that to his game. So what have you kind of seen in his, evolution really as a passer?
Yeah, just patience. Kai, they are really loading on him. We showed him on film the flow pass, the bounce pass are the 2 areas where we're going to need him to be great. And I thought he did it. I thought, I got on him one time. I think he had Trey one time in the post, and he was looking to pass, and that was a little much. But other than that, I thought he's making the right decisions at the right time. And he is in a lot of ways is really one of our he leads us so well with some of the things that he says and does.
And then real quick, what were your thoughts on the bench? Because, as a disaster as they were in the first half of game 2, it just kind of seems like ever since then, they've really given you guys a huge boost.
Yeah, they've been great. Every guy. We put Tyrese in for 1 second and he makes a play. So every single guy that we're calling right now is responding for us, and that's been good.
Thanks, Coach.
Final question, we'll go to Jack McCaffrey.
Jesus, turning it over. Sorry, guys, I'm watching the Denver game while I'm talking to you.
You have to unmute yourself, Jack. You have to unmute yourself, Jack.
Jack, I can't hear you. Hey, Jack, I can't. There you go, Jack. Dang.
I said, Doc, you're 32-6 with your preferred starting lineup. it goes without saying that if you have to take Danny Green out of that, it's going to put a little pressure on you. Are you pretty confident that you'll be able to withstand some changes in that starting lineup?
Yeah, we will. I mean, we've done it all year, Jack, and just the next guy has to step up. Not sure who that's going to be yet. We'll go back, watch film, and decide who that will be. I'm not ruling Danny out, but I'm pretty much ruling him out. I doubt if he plays the next game.
Thanks, Doc.
Thank you, Coach.
Take care, guys.
A reminder, as he likes to point out, it is not a title professionally, but Doc Rivers indicating there that based on what he knows of the calf injury, and you guys can speak to this as well, Danny Green's not likely to be playing in Game 4, or maybe not anytime soon in this series.
It is hard. I think the two that was hard for me to kind of gauge was the calf and groin injury.
Right.
No matter what, you feel good. You're scared to really cut to test it, and then every time you push off for a calf, you felt it. Every time you cut for a groin, so I think it's going to be very tough. And since they're up, I doubt that he will play the next game.
Yeah, it might be hard for him to get back even into this series because with a calf injury, those soft tissue injuries are always tricky. And we saw with KD and his calf injury a couple years ago what it could possibly lead to when you're trying to push through something of that nature. This isn't a sprained ankle or just a twisted knee. This isn't a pain tolerance thing. This is something that can greatly impact your career if you don't give it the attention that it deserves. And we also saw Anthony Davis. He didn't have a calf injury, but he had a soft tissue injury. He had a groin injury, and he tried to come back, and he just couldn't do it. I mean, some people always tell you, it's the playoffs. You got to fight through. That's people that have probably never really played in the playoffs or don't truly understand what's going on. Certain injuries you can't fight through, and Danny's probably going to be out for a little bit.
Oh, you could fight through them, you just wouldn't be effective.
Yeah, or you won't be out there long.
You can't run, right.
Anthony Davis wasn't out there that long,
right.
With the groin injury. Soft tissue injuries, hammies.
It's hard.
We see Harden with the hamstring injury. We saw Anthony Davis with the groin. Now we have Danny with the calf. Soft tissue injuries in the playoffs, you just can't bounce back like that. It takes time. Those are going to take a couple weeks.
With a little age. Danny. That's a little tough.
Danny's about 33 now? 34?
I'm not sure. He went to Carolina.
We'll look up the number. He's in there.
Tar Heels, don't y'all know each other's age?
Yeah, I'll text Danny tonight. He'll be at the hotel. I'll see him. Now, by the time we get off.
Coming up here, we'll sort that out.
Danny be asleep by the time we get off. What we getting off at 2:30?
3.
Ben Simmons and the Sixers up 2-1. More of our postgame.
Hey, Danny, text me, man. I'll be up.
You're watching Playoff Central Live, brought to you by State Farm. For surprisingly great rates, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The Hawks suffered their first home loss since April 15th tonight, and they trailed the Sixers 2-1.
Hey, Nate. Just kind of how tough was that third quarter, and was that when you felt like you guys started to get away from what you wanted to do?
Yeah, I thought they pretty much did a good job of executing and really just pounding us, taking advantage of their size. I thought Tobias, kind of took over at one point, and basically we just could not get stops. We're not able to get stops and get out into transition to get anything easy. So we're taking the ball out of the net. We gave up a big third quarter, and when their defense is set, they're pretty good.
Chris Kirshner.
Hey, Nate. It seemed like Philly was able to get to the rim pretty consistently tonight. What did you see as the issue in the front court tonight?
It's the same. I think it's the same as, the last game in the sense that they are doing a good job of, that's a big screen Embiid is setting. And we're not getting through that screen. We're getting hit on those screens. We got to work harder to get through, those screens and try to keep the ball in front. It was like a downhill game for us tonight where they were turning the corner on those screens with Embiid and Simmons and basically just playing in our paint. So we got to do a better job of giving help, being up on the screens, but the guards have to get through those screens.
Kevin Chenard.
Coach, you started Tony Snell to start the third quarter. What was the motivation there, and did you like what you saw from it?
Just looking for a change. I started Tony, in that third quarter just to look at change. I played a different lineup late in the ball game to you just look at changing up some things. I think their size has had an impact on this series. Guarding these guys in the post. You got Simmons, who's 6'10", posting you up. You got Harris, who is a really good post player, and of course, you have Embiid with Howard, down there in the paint. So we'll try to, change it up and look at some different combinations.
Allison Mastrangelo.
Hey, Coach, it was your team's first postseason loss at home this season. So what was your message to the guys? We saw a couple of clips over at the TV. You were telling them to keep their heads up. So what was the message after tonight's loss?
And that was the message at the end of the game. Stay together. This is going to be tough. We knew it was going to be tough. You stay together, and you don't separate in difficult times. You stay together, and we go back to the drawing board tomorrow and look at film and get ourselves ready for the game on Monday night. But you stay together in tough times like this.
Jeff Schultz.
Nate, you referenced the Sixers' size advantage, which is obviously significant. And in a situation like this, going into Game 4, is there a thought of just going small and, try to fire up a bunch of threes or whatever? Just what are the options available to you?
We will, take the next 2 days to work on that and talk about how we, will come out on Monday night. But, everything will be on the table as far as, how we come out and play because their size is a factor. I thought they just pretty much pounded us in the paint tonight, and we'll see if we can make some adjustments here.
Steve Hummer from the AJC.
Yeah, Nate, the three-point shot was such an important factor for you all in the first game. How much does it kind of hurt you here in these last two games, and what do you need to get back to that?
Well, I thought they made some adjustments in Game 2, and they stayed with those adjustments, tonight. And what they're doing is doing a solid job. They're a really good defensive team. They're doing a solid job of staying in front of us. So we have to get more ball movement. We got to set better screens to try to free up the basketball. But we got to get ball movement. It really starts on the defensive end of the floor, though. We got to get stops so that we can try to get out into transition and get some easy baskets and not play against a set defense for the majority of the game. So I just think that's where it starts for us.
Mark Narducci.
Nate, do you worry with the physical play in them and how much they're doubling Trey, that they're wearing him down in the second half of these games?
Okay, could you repeat that, please? I'm sorry.
Sure. With the physical way they're playing and how much they're doubling and making Trey work, you worry about him wearing down in these games? I look at our guys, how they are playing out on the floor, and we try to get substitutions in there. If they are trapping Trey, Trey has been doing a good job of getting the ball out of the double teams, and then other guys have to make plays, when he see that type of defense. It hasn't been a lot of traps. It's been a lot of, some hedges, and but for the most part, Simmons is guarding Trey, and what we got to do is we really got to set better screens on the ball to free up the basketball. Okay, thank you.
Two more. First from Davide.
Hey, Coach. Which is the thing that disappointed you the most tonight?
The loss.
Okay, I get that. Thank you.
Final question from Valeria.
Hi, Coach. I wanted to know, in a fairly young team, what's the contribution of a veteran like Danilo Gallinari?
Well, his experience means a lot. You know, he's been doing it all season long. You know, certainly in times like this, you know, your veterans normally step up and they talk to the team. You know, so he's been doing that in our practices and, you know, talking to our guys about you know, things that we need to do out on the floor. So experience definitely helps in times like this.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
A lot of Phillies' attention defensively on Trey Young. He had 28 tonight, and now your attention on him as he speaks about the Game 3 loss.
Just how tough was that third quarter for you guys? And I asked Nate this too, but is that kind of when you started to feel like you guys were getting away from what you wanted to do?
I mean, yeah, I can't necessarily think about or remember too much of the third. I'm going to have to go back and watch film, remember what really, what actually happened in the third on why they outscored us by 15. But, yeah, that's definitely the quarter that they were able to get their momentum and kind of get separation.
Chris Kirshner.
How much do you feel like Philly's length and size is bothering you guys as a team?
I think, obviously they're a great defensive team because they're linked and the guys they have around. When you have guys with long arms and taller guys, it's going to make it more difficult. But it's not anything we can't handle and adjust to and correct going into Game 4. But something we definitely got to be better at is taking care of the ball. I had a lot of turnovers early, and I think we just got to do a better job of taking care of the ball.
Steve Palmer.
And Trey, after all the success y'all had with the three-point shot in that first game, how surprised or / concerned are you about the three-point shooting now these last couple games?
I'm never concerned. This team, we've worked too hard. Guys work too hard to feel down or anything about their shot or things like that. So I'm not down or worried about guys' shots and if they're going to fall eventually, because I know they will. We just got to keep shooting them and keep playing with confidence out there.
Thanks.
Mark Narducci.
Trey, with all those big bodies coming at you, does it wear you down at all, especially in the second half?
Nah, I felt fine. I feel good. I've seen every type of coverage, every type of defense. It's all about just trying to figure out how to manage it and attack it. So, nah.
Okay, thanks.
Terrell Thomas.
Trey, what are you seeing out there defensively different from the Sixers in games 2 and 3 versus game 1, how they're playing you defensively out there?
They're not doing too much different. They're switching a little bit more. Guys are, Ben starts on me, but guys are switching and guys are, they're picking it up a little bit higher and things like that. So just got to figure out how to attack it and yeah, like I said, just got to figure out how to attack it.
Thank you.
Just a few more. First from Davide.
Hey, Trey. Speaking about the Sixers defense, what do you think is the best way for you guys to attack them and, to kind of put them in trouble?
I don't know yet. We got to figure it out. We'll figure it out in the next couple of days. Obviously, if I had the answers, we wouldn't be talking about it right now.
Christos.
Hey, Trey. You, despite the deficit, despite the loss, you fought until the end. How important for you is to keep that mindset on the game 4? And also, what do you need to improve on ball movement? Because you have less assists than the Sixers
now. What was your first question?
Yeah, how important is to keep the fighting minds and the fighting spirit for the game 4, despite the deficit and the loss?
Yeah, we're okay. We're okay. It's one game. There are up one on us. It's a 7-game series. I mean, I'm not worried, and guys in there aren't worried. We just got to figure out and make the right adjustments going forward, and focus on the next game and getting that one. And yeah, that's about it. And then the assists, guys just weren't making shots tonight. We all weren't making shots, and that's not going to happen all the time. So I believe in the guys in our locker room, and I believe the work that we put in, that we're going to have a better performance in Game 4.
Last two, first from Valeria. Valeria, you're on mute.
Sorry. Hi, Trey. In a pretty young team, not only because of your last name, what's the contribution of veterans like Danilo Gallinari? Is there something in particular that you're learning?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, those guys are, great vets. For us, for me, I think one thing I really learned from those guys is, patience. Those guys have been in the league for a long time, and it's a grind to get to the playoffs, and then to win in the playoffs is a grind. So, just really learning from those guys, I think has really been helpful. So, glad they're on my team.
Final question from JC.
Hey Trey, at this point in the series, what do you feel is the biggest responsibility from your part right now in this series, and what's the team needs from you the most at this point?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm gonna go back, watch film, see what I can do better, see what I could have done more for my team, and then that's about it. I gotta be able to contribute more and do more, and help my teammates out a little more. But we all got to get back to the drawing board and figure out how we're gonna win Game 4.
Thank you, Trey.
Trey Young's thoughts after the Game 3 loss. Tobias Harris and the 76ers up 2-1. He had 22. So hear what he has to say about the Game 3 road win for Philly. Leads 2-1.
We'll get these questions started with Kai Carlin. Hey, what's going on, Tobias? Can I just real quick get your thoughts on just you as a passer? It just kind of seems like you have just continued to come along like as a passer, just as a player.
Yeah, that's always been a part of my game that I'm continuing to work on. But honestly, it just comes from just making the correct play. Obviously reading the defense a little bit better throughout my career. I've gotten better at that year after year. And just being able to make the right play, whether it be, tonight you saw a lot of those lobs for the way that they were playing pick and rolls and just putting pressure on the defense. That's the biggest thing right there.
And can I just get your thoughts on Ben? It just kind of seemed like in the second half he really took another step forward in terms of his offense. He was looking more for scoring. So what was the message to him at halftime? I know Coach was talking about being more aggressive and stuff like that.
Yeah, just taking advantage of some of the mismatches that were presented out there. They have a versatile group defensively, but there's certain times where he can use his speed and his power out there to really back his way in and get to the cup. So I thought he just did a great job of that in the third quarter of using that aggressiveness and getting in the paint, making the right plays, right kick-out plays, finishing as well. So I thought he did a great job of that tonight.
Thanks, T.
Hey, McMillan.
Tobias, what stood out other than Ben, perhaps, to you in that third quarter run you guys went on? I think you started the quarter 8 for 8 from the field, and it almost was reminiscent to Game 1 where it looked like you flipped the switch and were a dominant team.
Well, really, we got stops, and that was the biggest thing for us. We were able to get stops and then push the ball up the floor and really get into transition. All year long, it's no surprise. Transition has been our best offense. And we know as a team where our defense goes, that's where our offense rises to that level as well. So when we're locked in defensively, getting stops, all connected as one group out there. We're even tougher offensive team because of our speed and size. So, that's really the thing that stood out the most in that third quarter.
Rich Hoffman.
Hey, Tobias, probably the one negative of the night was that Danny got injured, and I saw that he was in a boot on the sidelines. What was he like? Was he still in good spirits, or was he not in a good mood?
No, he's always going to be in good spirits. I mean, that's just Danny. But we're hoping for the best for him, and that he'll be all right, and that he can get some treatment, some rest as well, and be ready whenever he is ready. So we'll just play it by ear, really.
And Furk got to start the second half. He had a big game. I guess just in general, like, who steps up if Danny's out for a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, tonight, Furk was out there and he was balling. I mean, I think that's the thing with the playoffs and the beauty of the playoffs and being on a team like ours is, it could be a different guy every night who brings that added effort. And you saw in the first half Furk get hot out there and got his swag and his confidence shooting a three out there, and he made a big three as well in the fourth quarter. So you just love to see it. He's a guy who works his tail off day in, day out, and I'm happy that the moment came and he really took advantage of it for sure.
Well, we're going to go to one more question, and we will wrap things up with Vincent Goodwill.
Hey, Tobias. Today, as you know, you were announced as one of the 5 finalists for the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Award. Just curious about your involvement in Philadelphia schools and the social justice movement. Just what motivated you, considering you're not from that area, you're from New York? What was your motivation behind getting so involved?
Oh yeah, thank you. I mean, it's a huge honor to be selected in that group with all those guys as well. And for me, obviously education for our youth has been a huge focal point that I like to get involved in. And being that I play in Philadelphia and that's where I live and where I'm at, I want to really get down to the roots of the school system and find out a way that I can make an impact and help the kids out in the Philadelphia area. So education has always been a huge focal point for me and the things that I do in terms of philanthropy. And to be selected as a finalist for that award is an amazing honor for me.
All right, thank you, Tobias.
All right, thanks, y'all. Yep.
Tobias Harris there. Next up is Ben Simmons. Remember, Simmons only had 4 points in Game 2. Phillies win there. Tonight, an efficient 7 of 11 from the field. He had 18 to go with 4 rebounds and 7 assists in Phillies' 127-111 win. Here he is.
Everyone, we will start the questions off with Dave McMillan.
Hey, Ben, just a two-parter for you. First, I don't think we've spoken to you since after Game 1, so I wanted to get your response to the Defensive Player of the Year award vote.
Yeah, congrats to Rudy. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not really concerned about individual awards. I want the championship. So, I mean, that's my goal. Honestly, the goal was never Defensive Player of the Year. It's just go out there and do my job and try to be the best defender in the league, regardless of the awards. But the ultimate goal is the championship, and I still got to do my job at a high level.
And sticking to tonight, Doc told us that he kind of challenged you a little bit at halftime. He felt like you could push the pace more. He was going to operate out of the post through you. And then he said one of the assistant coaches said, hey, he is guarding Trey Young. That's a lot. And then Doc said, well, he's young. He can handle it. What did you think of what you did in the second half?
Yeah, I was just trying to push the pace, get in the lanes, find my guys, and stay aggressive, get to the rim, and cause them to obviously foul and get in some rhythm. So I think I did a good job at that second period, second half. So yeah.
Paul Mudrick.
Hey Ben, we talked all year about you and Joe and your chemistry and how much it's grown. But even kind of throwing Tobias in that mix, how much has that helped you guys? The three of you having that continuity and it kind of like coming all together on a night like tonight?
It's been great. You know, obviously it's a lot harder to do with three than two. You know, Joel and I have had that chemistry and played in the court for a while now. And then working with Tobias, he's made it easy. You know, he's continued to get better and better, and he's been a great